Let's get into this next segment. This one's the most interesting, and it's that, we somewhat expected it. And, because Lamar Jackson, when he got drafted, his mom and him did the contract negotiations. But the argument then was basically like, there's not much you can get. It's pretty standard. The rookie contract, especially for first round players, it's pretty standard stuff. So that wasn't too big of a deal. But coming into this offseason, people asked Lamar, and they were like, hey, Lamar, are you going to be hiring an agent? And he was like, I don't know. We'll see. It's now been reported that it's expected that he's not hiring an agent. He's going to be doing the contract negotiations on his own. And this, for me, is amazing. Not because it like gives the Ravens the opportunity to just absolutely finesse him with the money. I don't think Eric DeCosta is somebody who would want to do that to Lamar, to his franchise player. We've seen what happens when franchise players get pissed off by their organizations, whether it's Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers, or even Russell Wilson has been getting very frustrated with his organization. But it's annoying, and you don't want to piss off your franchise quarterback. But Lamar, the reason that I really like it is, one, it shows his commitment to the Ravens. If Lamar wanted to squeeze every dollar out of the Ravens, he's hiring an agent, and that agent's going to be like, oh, well, we'll go to another team. Lamar doesn't want to go to another team. He wants to stay in Baltimore, and him not hiring an agent, I think, really shows that he's committed to this team, and he believes that it's more like a family than a business. He's got his best friend in Hollywood Brown there. He's got, Tyler Huntley. He's got all these guys, and he's like, no, I want to stay here. I want to work it out with the big man in Eric DeCosta, and that makes me really happy. There's a few other benefits that I can get into as well. I'll do that a little bit later. But Joshua, what are your thoughts on Lamar working on his own deal?
I definitely want to know what he majored in college. Because to me, when it comes into working out your own deal, you need to know the basics and logistics of working out your own deal, especially the law and the law and all those things behind it. Because at the end of the day, you want to get paid your worth. I definitely respect him for working out his own deal, being able to sit down with EDC, because it seems like they do have a great relationship. I mean, ever since he got drafted, he always said, he wants to bring a Lombardi here. You love that confidence in anyone that that plays professional sports. But also, I said it before, I say it again. When he's being interviewed about being a Raven, it's like you feel the passion and when he's talking. Because I mean, at the end of the day, when someone gives you a chance to really be who you are, I want to say you're indebted to them for life, but you get a respect for them. So I know he respects the organization in Louisville, and I know, even with the Baltimore Ravens, he respects us even more because now he's, doing what he loves professionally. So, I mean, me personally, if I was Lamar Jackson, I would get Rich Paul to be my agent. Just for the simple fact, because Rich Paul has helped out everybody that's under him play the long game. I mean, look at LeBron James, and his whole team. And I mean, a lot of his guys are his friends. LeBron keeps a tight circle, and I feel like Lamar Jackson is that same type of person in regards to keeping a tight circle and keeping people that's really loyal and honest to him. When it comes to Lamar Jackson, you can always you think of the TV show The Game almost, when Tasha Mack was her son's agent. Tasha was Malik's agent. So I definitely liked the route he's going, and I think with him going in by himself, he's going to work out a deal where he can be with the Ravens, still get paid, and also be able to keep a good team around. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Tom Brady ever worked out his own deals, but I'm pretty sure, he wants to try to take a page out of Tom Brady's page, because we all know that, Tom Brady made good money in New England, but he also had rings, and he also did what he could do to keep guys around. I mean, he's even did the same thing in Tampa Bay as well. So I like it.
Yeah. So he does want to keep it close. He treats it like a family. But here's the biggest benefit that I see in Lamar taking on his own deal. he doesn't have to pay his agent. Agents take fees.
Yeah.
They get you the big money because they want their money. You know, even when you have an agent that's like, you know, I bet, I mean, I could probably guarantee Tom Brady would probably play football for $5 million a year. I mean, his wife makes, or his wife, I don't know how much money his wife still makes, but his wife used to make more money than he did.
Right.
You know, he's got money. Tom Brady wants to win. But Tom Brady has an agent, and this agent's like, man, no. I need some money. And so he's like, yeah, we'll get you a cheap deal. It'll be like $25 million, but that's cheap for you. You're the GOAT. And stuff like that. And so with Lamar, you know, I believe the maximum that from research that I've done, the maximum amount of percent of a contract an agent can take is 3% from the NFL. However, I've also read that they can take 5 to 10% for sports agents. I'm going with the 3% number of the contract, but they can take 5% of endorsements, I believe. Lamar's going to be able to get more money out of endorsements, which is, I mean, we've already seen it. He took an Oakley endorsement, I believe, endorsing their visors and things like that. That doesn't take away from the Ravens cap. Lamar Jackson he's the first ever big name Ravens player, like, you know, kind of a flashy guy. Like, obviously Ray Lewis, big name, but Lamar Jackson is an endorsement level player. I mean, we look at, you know, you watch TV, who do you see on TV in commercials? You see, you know, Chris Paul in State Farm. You see Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in State Farm. You see, you know, we got the LeBron cranberry Sprite, and LeBron did some other weird like yoga.
He was doing like he was doing some salsa dancing.
I was like, I can't remember exactly what it was for, but I remember he did that. But like those are some of the biggest names. You know, we see like Serena Williams and I think Fernando Tatis. And somebody else is also in a like Gatorade commercial series that there are. But like, think about all the historic players, NFL players that are big with endorsements. Manning, Favre, you know, some of the greatest players of all time. You know, we don't see Joe Flacco out there getting like massive endorsement money, but we see Shaq doing it because people loved Shaq. Well, people love Lamar. And so I think he's understanding that he can get a ton of money out of endorsements. So that reduces the amount of money that he has to take from the Ravens, because Lamar can take Oakley's money.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect his football playing whatsoever. But if he takes more Ravens money, it's going to be, unfortunately, that's, you know, you now we can't pay Hollywood. Now we can't play Mark Andrews. You know, whatever it is, now we can take a little bit cheaper of a deal, not have to pay agent fees on either his endorsements or his contract, and that'll really reduce the amount of money that he needs to pay. I apologize if y'all can hear somebody, I don't know what they have. They've got like a lawnmower or a weed whacker or something outside my house, but whatever. But overall, Lamar's going to be able to take a little bit less money, and he's going to be able to achieve his final goal, which is to win a Super Bowl. And that's what he's always said he's wanted to do. I think that's what he does do, and that's what he wants out of his contract. He doesn't want to get paid a ton of money. He wants to win a Super Bowl. And to do that, you have to make less money. There is a statistic. I don't know the exact statistic off the top of my head, but it's like the amount of quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl making over 25% of his team's cap is 0 or next to 0. Like, it does not happen. That's why Tom Brady always is taking like, maybe he gets paid 20% of the cap or 18%, but it's never over 25, because it doesn't happen when you're making over 25% of that cap. So Lamar, hopefully he doesn't take over 25% of the cap. Otherwise it's kind of a rip for the Ravens, based on, you know, history. But overall, I'm really happy Lamar's doing his own deal, because it'll allow him to take less money because the and I think that's something Eric DeCosta will bring up. It'll be like, and I think that was something Lamar talked about as well, was that he didn't want to have to pay the fees when he was getting drafted. They were like, oh, why didn't you hire an agent? He was like, why? There's not much that they can, you know, argue about, and then they take a good chunk of your money. It's like, if you can sell your house on your own, you want to sell your house on your own. You're not going to let that, you know, realtor get that massive commission from selling your house. Like,
right.
No, you want all that money to yourself. So I don't know. That's why I really like it. Joshua, do you have anything to add on to that?
I was going to ask you this question. So, with him going there working on his own deal, do you think it's best now that we get a contract? Did we get the contract extension now, or let's say we make it to the Super Bowl and win? Do you think he would start asking for more money if we brought home the Lombardi? If he just played under his current contract?
I do think he would, based on former comments that he's made, and that's because when right after Patrick Mahomes got his big contract, Lamar Jackson in a press conference, I believe it was a press conference, or maybe it was on Twitter, I can't remember which one. He said, "Man, I got to get me a Super Bowl." I believe is what he said, because he saw Lamar or Mahomes' deal and he was like, "Oh my, that's a lot of money."
Yeah.
So I feel like, and also it's like once you accomplish that goal, you're set. Now Lamar may have the mentality after he accomplishes it, and he was like, if you ask Tom Brady what's his favorite Super Bowl, he says the next one. Lamar could absolutely have that mentality. However, his personal opinion, his value of what you want isn't the MVP, isn't records, it's Super Bowls. So once he achieves that level, I feel like he's going to see himself as worth another level. He could still take a cheaper deal, but like for the Ravens, like obviously the cheaper deal would come before the Super Bowl. Just because also the Ravens, when your quarterback wins you the Super Bowl, you're more enticed to pay them more money. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of a bad thing. You never want to pay players for what they did in the past. You want to pay for them for what they're going to be able to do for your future. But look at what the Ravens did for Joe Flacco.
Look where he's at now.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mr. Eagles quarterback now and Joe Flacco.
He's literally now a journeyman, but he doesn't make an impact like Fitz.
Yeah, it's rough. But yeah, you don't want to pay a guy after they win the Super Bowl because they won you that Super Bowl. That's just not smart. Like, you can extend them, but you don't want to give them money like, oh wow, you won us the Super Bowl, we're going to give you this bonus. But that's what happens a lot of the time, and that's what you don't want to happen. So I would much rather get the contract done before this year, especially if the Ravens were, I mean, if I could choose between paying Lamar after winning the Super Bowl and paying him before, I would obviously pick after the Super Bowl because we guaranteed win a Super Bowl. But I'd much rather get the deal done this year just in case we did win the Super Bowl and we'd have to pay him more money next year would be my answer. But that's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely would want to pay him now too. Not for the simple fact that he's going to start becoming like injury prone, or he may carry this different type of attitude. I feel like Lamar is going to always be Lamar. Even when what, I'll take it a step further. Lamar Jackson is not the flashiest NFL player, but who he reminds me of as far as like loyalty and still playing at a high level? Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders got paid. Deion Sanders been around the league, but he always was prime time. So, even though, he was shiny, he was the flashes, he still came out there to ball on Sundays, Monday nights, and Thursday nights football. So I definitely feel like, that could be that would be Lamar.
Lamar's the next prime time, but more loyal. Yeah, I feel like that's a good way to wrap up this segment. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're watching. If you're on